This is my modest PS3 game collection. I say modest because I don't have very many PS3 games at the moment, the reason being that I don't have a lot of time to play games, and I've only picked up a handful. I think I've got about 10 just so that I've got something to play in the little amount of time I have. In future I intend to get several more games because I will be freer next year, so getting more games. While I do have a small collection, what I do have I really enjoy, so let me run you through them. The first is Alice Madness Returns. This is an American McGee game. American McGee's Alice was the first. Essentially it is a twisted version of Alice in Wonderland. Very dark, not child friendly, I would say. It's got a 15 certificate, so not child friendly because it does have some bad language, but great fun for older gamers. The second game, this is a bit of a confession actually. I've owned every single Mortal Kombat game that ever came out, and I can tell you Mortal Kombat 5, 6, 7 and 8 were not great for the series. However, the reboot version entitled Mortal Kombat is actually a lot of fun. It brings in new, I don't know if you can see that, X-ray moves, it brings in more fatalities, it brings in a lot more of the characters we remember and like, and also it's got tons of extra, like 300 missions, online play, 2-on-2 and stuff like that, so really gives you a lot for your money, and the fighting is really, really good. Currently my favorite game on the PS3 is Red Dead Redemption, and I bought it for £8 used, which was probably the best £8 I ever spent. As soon as I finished it on the PS3, well, as soon as I finished that version, I ran to the shop and bought the Game of the Year edition. Unfortunately, the Undead Nightmares expansion pack is not as good as I hoped, because it limits the amount of ammo. The sort of the plot is a bit tricky to follow. There's periods in the game where you don't know what you're supposed to do or where you're supposed to go. So Undead Nightmare not as good, but Red Dead Redemption overall is a fantastic game. Anyone with a PS3 or Xbox 360 should go and get it. The next game, this is a bit of a strange one. It's called Folklore. Essentially, it's about this girl and this guy who go to this strange village, and they discover these folk creatures. Essentially, these are similar to like Pokemon, where you would capture the creature and then be able to use it in battle. It's an RPG game. You essentially map your creatures to each of your action buttons and use them in duels and fights and stuff. Really good game. Haven't played it a very great deal though. Grand Theft Auto 4. Since Red Dead Redemption, I had to pick up every other Rockstar game. Obviously, I'm still short a few, but I've got one more after this one. This essentially is a really good game. It does have some swearing, and because I play games around the family, I don't really appreciate a lot of the swearing, but it is a really, really fun, great game. Graphics on this are quite poor, especially facial sort of expressions and stuff like that. It looks more like a PS2 game, but I don't think anyone's going to buy this game for the graphics. It's for the gameplay, so yeah, really good game. The next one is Devil May Cry 4. Huge fan of the Devil May Cry series. Really, really good hack and slash game. I'm currently on mission 10. I'm halfway through. Really enjoying it. It is tough though. It is a really, really tough game, but I'm really enjoying it. The next game is Sonic Generations. This is a really, really nice but frustrating game. The reason why I say it's frustrating is that essentially you play as two Sonics and you take on stages in 3D and then in 2D or vice versa. Really, really fun game. It brings in levels from all of Sonic's previous games. Unfortunately, it is so short, only 9 levels, which just makes me think, why would Sega ever release a game with only 9 levels? Considering the fact that most levels last you a maximum 7-8 minutes. why would Sega ever release this game? Yes, there are side missions, but they're not as fun. The essential sort of main stages is what you'll buy a Sony game for, and there aren't very many of those. I would definitely recommend you pick this game up, but only if you can find it quite cheap. Next is Ratchet & Clank Tools of Destruction. This is the very first Ratchet & Clank game I ever played. Really enjoying it. A lot of fun to play. Definitely will be finishing it and picking up the rest of the games in this series, especially now that they're so cheap. Virtua Tennis 3 is basically a tennis game that I just wanted to have so that I can play with my sister. This is a fun game. Unfortunately, there's no online play, which just makes you think, why, again, a Sega game that is missing a crucial element. I don't understand why Sega did that, but if you do want an online experience, I would say go for Virtua Tennis 4. If you just want a fun budget tennis game, get Virtua Tennis 3. Last but definitely not least is LA Noire. Again, this is another Rockstar game that I picked up. Really loving the graphics. The facial recognition software is fantastic, and the cases are really good. It is quite repetitive though, and it is much slower than Red Dead Redemption and GTA 4. But if you can if you enjoy investigative work and if you enjoy slower games, then this is a really must-have game. Right, that's the end of my collection. It's a modest collection, but I definitely will be getting a lot more games soon.